Previously, we learned about individual characteristics such as age, gender, race, ethnicity, and abilities, which may influence employee performance. Managers should develop awareness about these characteristics and manage a diverse workforce effectively. Diversity sometimes brings significant values to organizations. For example, in corporate governance research, there are many findings that suggest demographic diversity within board members or top management teams have positive influences that affect important organizational outcomes.
Diversity is the double-edged sword that brings benefits such as knowledge sharing as well as bad outcomes like conflicts or fights among different groups. Although diversity presents many opportunities for organizations, diversity management includes working to eliminate unfair discrimination. To discriminate is to know the difference between things, which in itself isn't necessarily bad. Usually, when we talk about discrimination, though, we mean allowing our behavior to be influenced by stereotypes about groups of people. Stereotyping is judging someone on the basis of our perception of the group to which that person belongs. Actual discrimination can lead to increased negative consequences for employers, including reduced productivity and organizational citizenship behavior, OCB, more conflict, increased turnover, and even increased risk-taking behavior. Unfair discrimination also leaves qualified job candidates out of initial hiring and promotions. In fact, diversity stimulates people to pay attention to difference, which makes intergroup people hard to gain belonging feelings or mutual understanding. Thus, conflicts and contradictions are inevitable and even cost a heavy price. Researchers argue that there are three important reasons for managing diversity: effective people management, market competition, and corporate reputation. Creating an open and inclusive workplace culture in which everyone feels valued helps to recruit and retain talents. A diverse workforce can lead to developing new or enhanced products or services, opening up new market opportunities, improving market share, and broadening an organization's customer base. Adopting an effective diversity management policy also enables organizations to demonstrate their commitment to corporate social responsibility, CSR, through engagement with local communities. The transition from the focus of equal opportunity to diversity management is to shift away from a negative perspective on disadvantaged and discriminated staff to a positive one on celebrating and valuing the differences amongst all employees and utilizing them in a creative way to benefiting both the organization and individuals. Most managers are convinced that when diversity is properly managed, it offers the organization a competitive advantage. Hence, practices that are associated with insider status, including sharing information, participation in decision-making, and having voice, are reflected in measures of inclusion. For example, on increasing the employee's perception of inclusion. Tang, Zheng, and Chen defined organizational inclusion toward employees with diverse background as the extent to which employees obtain equal membership status and feelings of being included through full participation in and contribution to the organizational life. Organizational inclusion practices refer to various organizational policies, programs, and initiatives practices that aim at creating an accepting, supportive, and participative environment for the employees with diverse background. Taking China for example, as we discussed in previous lecture, diversity in China, such as 户口, dialect, gender, and generation, reviews several common points. First, employees with diverse background challenge mainstream management. Inferiority makes them lack in resources and disadvantaged in competition with others. Their values and needs in the workplace may also be different from the majority. However, more and more employees with diverse background join in the workplace. Organizations should take initiative in fostering an inclusive place for the employees. During the transition process from the traditional civilization into the modern one, China is facing to the challenge of how to balance the uneven growth among various social categories. Hence, we shall think about solutions to keep a harmonious interpersonal relations and increasing everyone's inclusion in workplace. Another important topic in diversity management is to manage global workforce diversity. Given the highly contextual nature, managing diversity for MNCs appeared to be more challenging due to the contextual differences and varying management priorities. Cook and Sani reported that Chinese managers working in MNCs identified two aspects of cultural diversity in the workplace. One is between expatriates and local employees. The other is from the Chinese overseas returnees who are need to work for and are favorite candidates of MNCs. One interesting example mentioned by their interviewed MNC managers is that a typical welfare measure offered by Chinese firms to their single employees is to provide dormitory. In large cities where housing is expensive, this often takes the form of a bedroom shared with 2 or 3 other employees of the same sex. For rural migrant workers, this situation is far worse, where 10 or more people may be cramped in the room. While this arrangement is acceptable to the Chinese employees, Chinese students also share their dormitories in schools and universities. It is not acceptable to foreign employees due to privacy concerns. This has led to the turnover of a few foreign employees, and the company made no efforts to retain them, perhaps due to the reluctance to create precedents and cause differential treatment between Chinese and foreign employees. According to the Chinese managers working in MNCs, they employ a large number of overseas graduate returnees. These self-repatriated Western-trained graduates bring with them different lifestyles and expectations. They expect high salaries and fast promotions. How to recruit and manage overseas returnees is an important issue for MNCs operating in China. Companies are now reportedly more cautious in recruiting and managing these returnees because they are seen as demanding employees and are difficult to return. Similar situation is reported in India.
Workforce diversity is the social reality every organization is facing. Communication, acceptance, open-mindedness, friendship, love, and truth will help us deal with diversity better. Managers should try attracting, selecting, developing, and retaining diverse employees to create a positive diversity climate. Only then can diversity bring more valuable outcomes to your organization. That's all for this lecture. See you next time.